fellow toy collecting enthusiasts, comic book enthusiasts, movie enthusiasts, vintage enthusiasts, people that just like older shit, and people who actually want to enjoy life, people who don't want to step over others. Welcome. We're here to share, not to prove that we're something better than others. So today I got some really cool stuff in the mail I've been waiting for. It came in from overseas. They were made in Italy. Well, let's just bring them up, shall we? What the hell? All right. Unfortunately, many, many years ago, I had the action figures and I sold them. I haven't found them since. I haven't looked that hard for them. But today, these came in the mail. Let's see, where are they here? And I have a couple of the carded sets from this. These happen to be one of them happens to be unpunched, which is very cool. Let's bring that one up first. So here we are. All right. So this is an unpunched card. You can see that. See where the mark is in the back to push it out. You can see where it's threaded to keep the actual outfit on. And this is in Italian, of course. Best foods from Italy, best language from Italy. Why not the best toys? Well, it's probably not so much, but gli sport, le imprese, le avventure di Jimmy Brown, Blackjack, Tommy Bright. That was a Spanish accent, not an Italian accent. Collezionatelli tutti, which means collect them all in Italian. Not too hard to figure out. These are made by Ceppi Ratti. And for those of you who see CEPPI, RATTI, as one person that tries to be the toy king overall, calls it Ceppi Ratti. Well, that just shows how fucking ignorant you are, because in Italian, a vowel after a C has the ch sound like church. How about that? And a CH in Italian has a sound like K in English. So there you go. So you're not so good after all there, Mr. Canadian Crybaby. All right, anyway, so this is actually the parachuter set. And what's actually pretty cool, so you see there's 3 figures they made. They were 8-inch knockoff figures, following probably the coattails of Action Jackson from Mego at the time. It was quite popular, which was really just an 8-inch interpretation of Hasbro's G.I. Joe, if you will. But this is a very cool set. You can see inside that we have this yellow jumpsuit, and it has a number 2 on it. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be some kind of sport thing, but it has this cloth backpack. Now, the jumpsuit is kind of this, you can see it's got these reddish sleeves, this yellow shiny material. There's something else back there. I'm trying to see what else is in there. But it also has this parachute. Oh, it's the parachutes in the background. I'm sorry. There's the parachute back there. We can see it. It's in red and blue. You can see the outline of it here and up at the top. And then you have this backpack that it fits into, which is cloth with vinyl straps. It has these brown boots, which are unlike any other action figure I've seen to date. And then it has this helmet. If you take a close look at that helmet, it should look familiar with old 8-inch Mego figures, because this is the Action Jackson helmet. What makes this cool and different is that the Action Jackson helmet, or the Mystery Astronaut, if you will, they're typically in that grayish silver with the blue kind of pull-down visor. They did a red one, which not only showed up in Palitoy's Space 1999 figures, or the 8-inch equivalent of English Megos, I like to say, but that red helmet also showed up in Lincoln International's Big Bill figure, because I have one in the box over there. It's never been used. But the neat thing about this, if you take a quick look, instead of being all gray, we actually have there's a blue in there, there's a dark blue, and there's a white part of it, and then you actually have the visor. But don't be fooled, it is an Action Jackson helmet, and I have a feeling, or Action Jackson molded helmet, and I have a feeling if I look inside, yeah. So this is what's very funny about this, because the red helmet, I figured out what that was, obviously, because it looks like the Space 1999. But what gave it away, if you look inside, there's the word Megos inside. I just looked inside this one. You're not going to be able to see it in here, but I just took a look. But molded inside is the word Mego. So we all know that the toys were pretty much probably made out of the same 1 or 2 factories overseas in Hong Kong. And at some point, I don't know if they accidentally borrowed the molds. I don't know if they paid Mego. I don't know if they had an agreement at this point, but what I can tell you is that is marked Mego. But I don't think you're going to see that color helmet. That you will see that helmet, but not in that color anywhere else. So that's one of the sets that came in today. I think that's pretty cool. The second set is the This is the airline pilot set, if you will. Yes, it's for boys. The interesting is, you can look, there is a coat hanger back here in plastic, which I guess because he's an airline pilot, you could hang his outfit up. Interesting that it's in the color pink. We found these hangers. My sister used to have Barbies, and I think another one was, what was it? Was it Cindy dolls with an S, S-I-N-D-Y, back in the day in the 70s, and I have a very strong feeling that that's probably, again, they took the parts out of, probably one of the Barbie things. Hey, Philip, how are you? Thank you. Yes, it is cool. Thank you. I try my best. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But people go, cool, and say, thank you. I try hard. No, but just kidding. So this is actually the pilot outfit. These are Italian figures. These three characters actually exist. They're pretty cheap body types. They're 8-inch. Trying to remember specifics because I don't have them anymore. They did come carded, similar card. But basically, this is the world. When we look at this, it's the world of Jimmy Brown, Blackjack, and Tommy Bright. And I guess well, I don't know if they didn't quite include all ethnicities in here, but they tried to get a variety of different characters in here, which I thought was pretty cool. Inside every one of these packages, there is a little, you'll see that little black booklet. That's actually the booklet. When you open it up, it will show you all the outfits that are in there. If you go to MyMegoLike.com, as a shameless plug, but if you go there, you can look on the left. There's 200-something pages in there, but you can see that there's 8-inch Ceppi Ratti, C-E-P-P-I-R-A-T-T-I, which in English they translate to rat strains, which is interesting. But if you find that, you can actually see the manual with all the different outfits that are in there. I only happen to have 6, and one of the ones I have, the card is pretty much gone. I'll show it to you in a second. So again, this is our parachute outfit, which I love because this helmet, although it's not, this is not a Mego set. This was not a Mego side venture as far as I know, but that helmet inside, I took a very close look. It is marked Mego. It's stamped Mego inside, just like the Action Jackson helmet, just like the Palatoy helmet that went with Space 99, and just like the Link International Big Bill figure. Okay, so what else? These are some of the other sets I brought out that I have. These I bought from a fellow collector. There were some extras that he had. This is the horse riding outfit, if you will, or the hunting outfit. I would probably say this is more the hunting. And the reason I say that, he's got this horn. So I'm guessing he's blowing his horn. Is Sanchez on this thing? Do I have to worry about him blowing his horn for that? But these black boots are the 8-inch Mego style superhero boots, or Action Jackson boots, if you will. The other set that we have here, which is pretty darn cool, is this military set. You know, lots of military stuff went off. We've got camouflage pants, a dark green jacket with a vinyl belt. It's got the black shorter Action Jackson style boots, and also in there's a small pair of binoculars, which I gotta say, I think I found a pair of these and a lot of stuff and didn't know what they went to, and now I think I know where they went. It also has this kind of small, it looks like a carbide rifle, if you will. It's smaller than any other rifle that I've seen on any other toys, but Ceppi Ratti did have different things inside there, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, this is probably one of my favorite sets, and this one I actually bought online. And this is one of the hardest ones I've ever had to find so far to date. Well, I guess the ones I don't have are a little bit harder to find, but this one is actually the Deep Sea Diver set, which is pretty cool. So you can see the helmet. It's very similar to the old Joe helmet with the plastic, or the red box helmet, or the blue box helmet, if you will. Except this one comes in halves, so you can actually snap it together around his head. We've got the tanks. The suit in this one is not that rubbery material like the G.I. Joe that over time would get just crunchy and kind of fall apart. It's actually a very actually pretty much the same material as the parachuter set. A lot of action figures had this. They put in these white oven mitts. Now, they have other oven mitts and other colors in another set, which there is could have sworn I had a boxing set somewhere that had these in them. And it might be over there. I might have forgot to bring it, but they're different than the Mego oven mitts. You could take a look. They're a little bit less angled, a little bit less thumb design and so on, but there's also in there's not only a deep sea helmet mask, but there's a scuba mask. So this is kind of a scuba deep sea set, I guess, if you will. Problem with these cards, they crack and pieces fall out, so you have to be really careful with those. All right, I could have sworn I had the boxing set somewhere. And now I'm thinking about it. It's probably over with the rest of my stuff. But this is also one of my favorite sets, and I'll show you why in a minute. The card is shot to shit. It's barely existing. This is what's left of it. But you've got this really cool, this really cool accessory set. So you've got this kind of plaid shirt. You've got these fishing, what do they call these things? Oh, Christ, I forget. Waders. They've got these black Action Jackson style boots or superhero boots, which are the same as our riding set, if you will. We've also got this little, I'm not sure how to explain it. This is cloth. I know this is normally like a little plastic thing, but this is cloth, and it's kind of just like a little case, I guess, to carry stuff in a tackle box. I don't know, but it's actually soft cloth, not some hard plastic. We've got this plastic fishing net, which you're not going to see too much like that. And then you also have this little trap here. This is like it's like a crab trap, and technically, there's a lid that you can close. And if you take a kind of a close look at that, you'll see it's really neat. They actually did a really cool thing with that. And of course, then there's a fishing rod in there in brown back here. Here's your fishing rod. And of course, his fishing hat, which is actually a soft plastic, if you will. Kind of like, it's actually made out of the same material as the waders, if you will. Unfortunately, there's not much left of this card, and I know I have a boxing set somewhere. Now I realize it. Maybe it's over there. Maybe we can go take a look. Before we do that, I'll show you what else came up first, and then we can see what's going on. All right. This also came from the same seller, and I saw it online, so I have to get this. Zorro is a very cool figure. I'm not sure about the body style. It looks pretty Paco to me. Gotta be careful because I'm working on that King Kong over here that we're putting back together. But interestingly enough, I hate to say it, and I don't have it anymore because I got rid of it. I traded it off to my friend, Dan Samillo, but wow, that's interesting. That sure as hell looks like a Mego Zorro head. He's got this Paco-style body. You could tell with I call these the crappy wrists and so on. He does have a nice kind of Zorro outfit. He's missing his hat. He's missing probably his sword. He's got these fancy cowboy boots, this very long cape. Let me see what he's stamped on the back. I want to see what's stamped back here to see if it says Paco. I don't feel anything, so I think we're going to be SOL on that. But there are quite a few Zorro figures that were put out in the day. And I have a few. Yep, there you go. Okay, so it's down the bottom. It is stamped Paco, so you can see that. But Jesus, that head sure as hell looks Mego. Or Palatoy, I should say. This sure as heck looks like a Palatoy head. I'm going to have to put this up because I don't remember exactly. Yeah, it's not stamped. It's not stamped. It is squishy. But that sure as hell looks like a Mego head on that. Like a Palatoy Zorro head, which was a very expensive figure. This is not a Palatoy Zorro. It's got a Paco body and so on, but wow. The head sure as hell looks like it. I don't have to go take a look and do a little more research. I just realized that as I'm talking about it here. Very, very, very cool stuff. All right, before we go look for the fishing outfit, this I picked up today while at Target. I don't go there too much, but we need to get some shorts for my daughter, and she loves to go there. She's autistic. And so we went, but this was, I love this. This is, I thought this was quite cool. It's actually got some very cool artwork on the back. It is Batman versus Kong. King Kong actually is two heads. You've got this open mouth screaming head, and you kind of have this closed head. You've got Batman. You've got Batman versus Kong, and you have Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. But look at the artwork on the back. I mean, that in itself was just, it was expensive for this, but it's just worth checking out. There's two Batmans in there. You've kind of got this, and they're exactly the same. You've got this smaller one up here, which I just realized, and this larger one down here. I wasn't even realize there was a small one up there. I guess that makes it more to scale, if you will. But I thought that was pretty cool to put that over. Now I'm like, I have to go see if we have that boxing set. And this is, of course, Todd McFarlane, if you will. All right, let's go take a look. Oh, wait, before we even get to there, I almost forgot the whole thing I was waiting to show at the end. So this came in the mail from a good friend. He makes these himself. In the U.S. and overseas, Mattel made Big Jim figures. In Spain, it was Congos, I think is what it was called. But in Mexico, they were Cipsa. And it wasn't Big Jim, it was Kid Acero, which is Kid Steel. Acero is steel in Spanish. Then they had their own series of characters. They had some differences than the Big Jim ones. The colors were a little different. They had some really cool outfits, had some really cool pieces. Well, one of the ones they made was the Invisible Man, which had interchangeable heads. I have one of those, another one on the way. And then they made another one, which was Hombre Bionico, which is Bionic Man. Nothing like the Kenner $6 Million Man, but he had a magnetic hand, and he could hold a can of plutonium. And Gerardo Ortega makes these. He sells them if you're interested in one. And he makes these, and he actually put the magnet on top for me to attach with the silicone, because the idea is it magnetizes to the Hombre Bionico's hand. The reason he didn't attach it is in case the magnet on the hand was in the reverse direction and we didn't want him shooting off the plutonium. We actually wanted to stick to his hand. So let me go grab that real quick, because I did want to thank Gerardo. He sent this to me out of the goodness of his heart. I know what he charges for them, and yeah, he definitely, that was a very nice thing to do. Or we can go take a look at it together. Let's see what we got going on over there, because maybe we'll find the other things too. So let's throw some light up in here. All right, so this is one of the Invisible Man. This is just for, these are a lot of European figures and so on, some of the Mexicans ones, if you will. But this is a squishy head Big Jeff. Here it is, and this is for the Invisible Man, so you could swap them. There's another version that has the Big Jim head. So here's actually a little different. So, okay, well, he decided he wanted to fall. This is a European Big Jim that just decided he wanted to fall down on me. This is a Mexican sip. All right, dude, you're going to have to, like, sit. That's a kicker model. This is a Mexican Kid Acero with an original karate outfit from there. They are stamped differently. They are stamped made in Mexico. This one just happens to be the one that I'm putting on as a kicker figure, so he actually kicks. But you could see there's definitely some difference in the colors of paint, a little bit of the overall. But this, my friends, let's see if we can get this guy to... All right, dude, you are going to have to sit over here for a while. He needs a stand is what he needs. I definitely need more stands. Don't have enough, and off we go. So let's see if we can get him out here. Well, all right, we're not doing it. All right, definitely I'm not pulling this all apart with one hand. So this is Hombre Bionico, and you can see mine has just one arm that you can see through the arm, the bionics, if you will. The other one's regular. They made other versions where he actually, both arms were see-through, and that's actually what's coming in the mail now. He's got these kind of white boots, and he's got these very, very cool bionics, if you will. He is from Mexico. So Hombre Bionico, Bionic Man, and so on. But let's see if we can't find that. I could have sworn, I know I've got that boxing set here somewhere. Question is, where the hell did I put it? Oh, well, maybe, just maybe, it's not in here. There is a boxing set for that somewhere I have, and I don't know where the hell I put it. Which kind of sucks, because this is the problem when you start collecting too much shit. We don't know where things go anymore. Let's see, Adventurer. It's probably, oops, it's probably in here somewhere. That's an Italian Action Jackson. This is Demo Man. I have no idea where the hell I put it. Have to be honest with you, unless it fell back there. Is that it? I don't even know. I don't think that's it. All right, well, we'll have to find that later, because now I'm going to be on the hunt looking for it, because I know I have it for this set. But it's quite cool. It's got a little trophy. It's got those oven mitt. It's got those oven mitt boxing gloves with it, and so on, unless it fell down behind, which is a distinct possibility. Yeah, because these are all Steve, the Adventurer Steve. And it's probably in here somewhere. I really, one of these days, need to get more space and figure out where to put more of the stuff. But I definitely realize I definitely have that suit somewhere, that outfit somewhere. God knows where the heck I put it. Where the hell I put it? Yeah, no, it's somewhere in there. I believe it's somewhere in there, unless I accidentally moved it somewhere and forgot about it as we're traveling through this friggin' nightmare. I know Ray Castillo's got his Basement of Horror. I think this is another version of the Basement of Horror. It's just a horror around here, as you will. But yeah, it's somewhere in there. I don't know where. Now I'm going to pull this all out. Now that I get off the phone, I'm going to pull this all out, and I'm going to find it in there. Damn. That's a lot of work just to find a set. But it's definitely in there. I have it somewhere. I know I do. I'm surprised it's not with those, but I've lost it somewhere. All right, so let's go back to where we were. As we can see, we've got some very, very cool sets going on here. And like I said, there is a boxing set. I just don't know where the hell I put it, which is very strange because it has, yeah, so it has these gloves, but they're in black. It's supposed to look like boxing gloves and so on and whatever. So we have some mysteries I got to do a little digging up on. One is this Paco figure. That sure as hell looks like a Palatoy head to me. And I'm going to, I wonder if that's, I'm assuming that's original. Can't really tell by doing this, but you can see the bodies are kind of crappy. And it's possible that somebody just threw a Palatoy head. However, I believe the Palatoy heads would be marked. So it could be a remold, if you will. But yeah, I thought it looked a little familiar. So there we go for today. Sorry about some of the mess that's going on in here. Have to straighten some of that out. But that's what we have going on for today. So, Gerardo, thank you. Muchas gracias por esto, hermano. Me encanta. Es excelente. We're going to get that. We're going to put the silicone on for the magnet. And then we're going to hook it to the Hombre Bionico's hand. And then we're going to go find that other boxing set that I have and figure out if that head is a Palatoy Zorro or not. And if it came that way, which I'm assuming it did, because it's got a whole Zorro outfit going on there. And we'll see what we got. But I'll go talk to a few other friends who are experts in that. And yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So if you guys have any questions, comments, throw them up there. I'll take a look. I'll respond as quick as I can. But other than that, you guys, this is the second video today. I did one earlier on a whole Durham line of figures, Durham Industries, if you haven't looked at those. And we're still rebuilding this Kong over here. I've already got a little bit at a time. It's a patient man's game, getting the pieces together, letting parts that need to be glued really stay glued for 24 hours before we touch it. Even super glue. Give it its opportunity to really strengthen itself, and then off we go. All right, other than that, thank you for watching. You can like, subscribe if you like. If you don't, no worries, but you'll get notifications for other cool videos I'll be doing up. And you can go back and look. There's probably, I think, 200 videos I've done over the last few years of things to take a look at. There's no regular scheduled videos. I just do them when shit comes in and when I feel like it and I have time. So other than that, be good. Peace.